Peppa Pig, Peppa and her golden boots. It was the day of the big puddle jumping competition. Peppa and her friends were practicing jumping up and down in muddy puddles. "My daddy always wins," boasted Peppa. "He said the first rule of puddle jumping is to wear your boots, and mine are very special because they are made of gold." "They are not gold," replied Susie Sheep. "They're yellow." "They are not yellow, they're real plastic gold," protested Peppa. "Would anyone like some orange juice?" called Mummy Pig from the house. "Yes, please," replied everyone. They ran inside, leaving their boots outside the front door. When Peppa and her friends had finished their juice, they headed outside to put on their boots. "Oh no, my boots have gone," sobbed Peppa. Mr. Zebra arrived with the post. "I've just seen a duck with boots on," he said. Peppa sniffed. "Were they gold?" "No, yellow," he replied. Mrs. Duck came running down the hill wearing Peppa's golden boots. Peppa ran after her. "Mrs. Duck, can I please have my boots back, please?" But Mrs. Duck did not want to give Peppa's boots back. She didn't stop running until she reached Captain Dog's boat. No one could stop Mrs. Duck. She leapt into the water and swam away. Captain Dog started his engine. "I think my boat can go faster than that duck," he exclaimed. But Captain Dog's boat could not keep up with Mrs. Duck. That's a fast duck," he said. Mrs. Duck finally stopped at a little island where Grampy Rabbit had been shipwrecked when his boat capsized. "Mrs. Duck has my boots and she won't give them back," Peppa called. "Don't worry, Peppa," replied Grampy Rabbit. "Mrs. Duck has nowhere to go." But then Mrs. Duck started flying and she was still wearing the boots. "Oh no," cried Peppa. "Mrs. Duck is flying to the moon with my boots." "Don't worry, Peppa," said Grampy Rabbit, pointing to the neighbouring island. "We'll take my rocket." I really don't think Peppa's boots will be on the moon," said Mummy Pig. "Nonsense," insisted Grampy Rabbit, helping everyone into the rocket. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! On the moon, Peppa and her friends searched everywhere for Mrs. Duck and the golden boots. "Let's ask at the shop," suggested Susie Sheep. "You don't get shops on the moon," exclaimed Daddy Pig. "Postcards," called Mrs. Rabbit from inside her gift shop. "Ice cream, buckets and spades." Meanwhile, Grandpa Pig had spotted Mrs. Duck in his garden. "Those aren't your boots, are they?" he asked. He quickly dialed Daddy Pig's number. "Oh, hello, Grandpa Pig," said Daddy Pig. "Yes, Peppa has lost some boots. We'll be right there." "Next stop, Grandpa Pig's garden," announced Grampy Pig. Peppa bounced excitedly out of the rocket. "My boots, my golden boots!" she exclaimed. "Thank you, Grandpa." Grandpa Pig helped Peppa to put her boots on. "Now we can go to the puddle jumping competition," said Mummy Pig. "Oh, yes," agreed Daddy Pig. "We'd better hurry." The big puddle jumping competition was about to begin. "First up, Daddy Pig!" cried Mr. Potato. Daddy Pig took a giant leap and made a very big splash. Then it was Mr. Elephant's turn, and Mr. Elephant made an even bigger splash. "Mr. Elephant is the winner," announced Mr. Potato. Peppa cleared her throat. "Please, can I have a go too?" she asked. "Oh, of course," replied Mr. Potato. "And can all of my friends help?" Peppa added. Mr. Elephant was not pleased. Hang on, I don't think that's really... It sounds perfectly fair to me," interrupted Daddy Pig. Peppa and her friends formed a circle and held hands. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, they all chanted. "Jump! Whee!" Peppa and her friends made the biggest splash ever. "Peppa and her friends are the winners," declared Mr. Potato. "I still think," began Mr. Elephant. "Hooray!" everyone cheered loudly. Peppa loved her golden boots. Everyone loved their boots. And everyone loved the big paddle jumping competition. The Peppa Pig, Peppa and the Flying Vet. Peppa has brought Goldie the fish to the vet for a checkup. "You've got a healthy fish, Peppa," says Dr. Hamster. "Thank you," says Peppa. Suddenly, Dr. Hamster's telephone rings. It is Mr. Elephant. "Hello, Dr. Hamster," he says. "We found a sick lizard in the mountains." It's a gecko, not a lizard," adds Edmund Elephant. "I'll be right there," says Dr. Hamster. Dr. Hamster springs into action. "Can we come too?" asks Peppa. "Of course," replies the vet. "All aboard the aeroplane." "I didn't know you had an aeroplane, Dr. Hamster," says Mummy Pig. "Oh yes," replies Dr. Hamster proudly. "I'm the flying vet." Mr. Elephant spots the aeroplane in the sky. "Thank goodness," he exclaims. "The vet is here." When Dr. Hamster lands, she calls, "Where's the sick lizard?" "This poor lizard is upside down," says Dr. Hamster, flipping it over. "There, he's all better." Then Dr. Hamster's mobile phone rings. "This must be another emergency," she says, answering the call. "Hello, Grandpa Pig here," says Grandpa Pig. "It's Polly, she's sick." "I'll be right there," promises Dr. Hamster. So Peppa, George and Mummy Pig jump back into the aeroplane. "Look, Polly, it's the flying vet," cries Grandpa Pig when he sees the airplane. "We're going into the sea," cries Peppa. "This is a seaplane, Peppa," says Dr. Hamster. "We can land on the water." "Polly has been ill since we got on board," explains Grandpa Pig. "She must be seasick," says Dr. Hamster. And when Grandpa Pig puts Polly on dry land, she soon feels much better. Dr. Hamster's mobile phone rings again. It is Daddy Pig in his office. "There are some ducklings stuck on our roof," says Daddy Pig. "You're just in time," says Daddy Pig. "Mrs. Duck laid her eggs on our roof," says Mrs. Cat. "Meow." "And they hatched," adds Mr. Rabbit. "But the ducklings don't know the way to the pond." "Who can make a quacking noise?" asked Dr. Hamster. "Quack, quack," says Peppa, and the ducklings follow her back to the pond. Dr. Hamster's phone rings for a fourth time. Is it another emergency? Asked Peppa hopefully. Yes, that was Mr. Hamster, says Dr. Hamster. I'm late for tea. Must fly. Thanks for your help, everyone cries, waving her off in her airplane. No problem, Dr. Hamster calls. It's all in a day's work for the flying vet. The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa's Busy Day. It is 7 o'clock. Move the big hand to the 12 and the little hand to the 7. At 7 o'clock in the morning, Peppa wakes up. Time to get up, George, cries Peppa. It is 8 o'clock. Move the big hand to the 12 and the little hand to the 8. At 8 o'clock, Peppa has breakfast. Yummy, says Peppa. Can I have some more, please? It is 9 o'clock. Move the big hand to the 12 and the little hand to the 9. At 9 o'clock, Peppa and George go to playgroup. Dinosaur, says George. It is 12 o'clock. Move the big hand to the 12 and the little hand to the 12. At 12 o'clock, Madame Gazelle takes everyone for a picnic lunch. I love picnics, says Peppa. It is 2 o'clock. Move the big hand to the 12 and the little hand to the 2. At 2 o'clock, Mammy and Daddy Pig pick up Peppa and George in their car. Toot toot! It is 3 o'clock. Move the big hand to the 12 and the little hand to the 3. At 3 o'clock, Peppa and George go to the playground. Swing time, shouts Peppa and Rebecca Rabbit. It's 6 o'clock. Move the big hand to the 12 and the little hand to the 6. At 6 o'clock, it's time for dinner. Pancakes, cheers Peppa. They're my favourite. It is 7 o'clock. Move the big hand to the 12 and the little hand to the 7. At 7 o'clock, Peppa and George get ready for bed. Time to scrub and brush, says Peppa. It is 8 o'clock. Move the big hand to the 12 and the little hand to the 8. At 8 o'clock, it's bedtime. Mammy and Daddy Pig come in to say goodnight. But Peppa and George are fast asleep. The end. Peppa Pig Strawberries. Grandpa Pig is showing Peppa and George the strawberry he has grown. Why is it hiding in a little house, Grandpa? asked Peppa. Because the cheeky birds have eaten the rest of my strawberries, and I need to protect this last one, says Grandpa Pig. Grandpa Pig tells Peppa that they can still eat strawberries. He knows the perfect place to go. Everybody in the car, he says. It's time to visit the strawberry farm. Have you come to pick strawberries? Asked Miss Rabbit when they arrive. Yes, please, Miss Rabbit, says Peppa excitedly. Then you've come to the right place. We've got nothing but strawberries, says Miss Rabbit. Pick as many as you like. Miss Rabbit takes Peppa, George, Granny Pig and Grandpa Pig out to the strawberry fields and gives them each a basket to put their strawberries in. Wow, gasped Peppa. There are so many strawberries. Pedro Pony and his family are at the strawberry farm too. Hello, Pedro, cries Peppa. Have you picked a lot of strawberries? Yes, replies Pedro. But my mummy and daddy keep eating them. Mr. and Mrs. Pony sigh. They have eaten too many strawberries. Peppa and George giggle. They love skipping along, picking strawberries and putting them in their baskets. I must say, these strawberries do look lovely, says Granny Pig. The real test is to see if the strawberries taste any good, says Grandpa Pig, picking up a big juicy strawberry and biting into it. Actually, that is rather good. Granny Pig eats a strawberry too. Scrumptious. Granny and Grandpa Pig eat lots of strawberries. Peppa and George are very good at picking strawberries and have nearly filled up their baskets. Peppa sings a song as they pick up the strawberries. Strawberry, strawberry, juicy, red and sweet. Strawberry, strawberry, they're so nice to eat. Peppa and George's baskets are full of strawberries, but Granny and Grandpa Pig's baskets are empty. Granny, Grandpa, where are your strawberries? Asked Peppa. In our tummies, replies Grandpa Pig. Maybe it's time to go home, says Granny Pig, rubbing her tummy. Danny Dog and his family has just arrived at the farm, ready to pick some strawberries. Wow, look at all these lovely strawberries, says Captain Dog. Don't say that word, groans Grandpa Pig, holding his tummy. Granny and Grandpa Pig have eaten too many strawberries. Thank you for all the strawberries, Miss Rabbit, says Peppa. Now we can go home and make strawberry jam for everyone. Say Granny and Grandpa Pig. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow, Peppa. Peppa and George love strawberries. Everyone loves strawberries. Peppa Pig, Peppa's Easter Basket. Peppa and George are making baskets for Miss Rabbit's Easter egg hunt. Peppa puts a craft box on the table. Thud! I'm making my basket really big so I can fill it with lots of chocolate, says Peppa. It's going to be the best Easter ever. Can you find this Easter egg? Peppa and George take their baskets to the Easter egg hunt. Wow! All their friends have made baskets too. Hooray! Ready, steady, go! Shouts Miss Rabbit through her megaphone. The children race around, searching for eggs to fill their baskets. Can you find this Easter egg? Miss Rabbit blows her whistle. That was fun, says Peppa. I filled my basket right to the top. Oh no, Susie Sheep gasps. I put my basket down and now I can't find it. Don't worry, Susie, says Peppa. I'll help you look for your basket. Hooray! Everyone helps, but they can't find Susie's basket anywhere. Oh no! Can you find this Easter egg? On the way home, Peppa has an idea. Can we go to Susie's house, please? She asks. When they arrive, Peppa knocks on the door. This is for you, Susie, says Peppa, handing over her Easter basket. Wow! Cheers, Susie. Thank you, Peppa. Can you find this Easter egg? When they get home, Mummy and Daddy Pig have a surprise for Peppa. Hooray! Giving your Easter basket to Susie was a very kind thing to do, says Daddy Pig. So we made you another basket, says Mummy Pig, and filled it right to the top. Wow! Wow, thank you, says Peppa. This really is the best Easter ever. Can you find this Easter egg? The end.
Hi kids, did you have fun watching this video? Then like and subscribe for more.
First words with Peppa Pig. Level 4. The very hot day. Meet Peppa, George, Daddy Pig, Mummy Pig, and Miss Rabbit. Learn because, before, by, cold, fast, gave, right, these, use, very, would. Read. Hot day, ice cream, swimming costume, whale, paddling pool, dinosaur lollipop. It was a very hot day. Peppa and George went to play in the garden because it was so hot. You can use all the swimming costumes. You will not get cold, said Mummy Pig. Daddy Pig got the paddling pool. Hooray! Would you like to use the paddling pool because it is so hot? Said Daddy Pig. Yes, please. Fast, fast, said George. Before they got in, Daddy Pig had to put air in. I will use the pump as fast as I can, George, said Daddy Pig. Before they got in, they had to use the hose to fill it up. Mummy Pig gave Peppa the hose. We can use this to fill the paddling pool right to the top, said Peppa. Peppa filled the paddling pool with very cold water. It is filling up very fast, said Daddy Pig. I think it will be too cold, said Peppa. The paddling pool was not too cold. It was just right. I am still very hot, said Peppa. I wish I could be cold. Would you like to buy an ice cream to eat before lunch? Said Mummy Pig. We can buy one because it is so hot, said Daddy Pig. You are right, Daddy. An ice cream will be very cold, said Peppa. Peppa went to buy an ice cream from Miss Rabbit. We would like to buy an ice cream, said Peppa. Would you like to buy one of these? Asked Miss Rabbit. Yes, please, said Peppa. Miss Rabbit gave Peppa an ice cream. These ice creams are very cold, said Peppa. Would you like to buy one of these dinosaur lollipops? Said Miss Rabbit. Dinosaur, said George. Miss Rabbit gave George a dinosaur lollipop. You must eat it very fast, because it will not be cold for very long, said Mummy Pig. Thank you, said George. George liked his dinosaur lollipop a lot. Eat the lollipop before it melts, George. It will not be cold for very long, said Mummy Pig. Mummy Pig was right. George's dinosaur lollipop did not keep cold. It melted because it was so hot. George felt very sad. He began to wail because he did not have a lollipop. Don't wail, George. Mummy can put it right, said Peppa. I will buy you one of these ice creams, but you must eat it before it melts, said Mummy Pig. Mummy Pig gave George an ice cream. Hooray! George ate the ice cream very fast. The end.
Hi kids, did you have fun watching this video? Then like and subscribe for more.